I've told you guys that in order to be flexible, you want to relax your joints. And you might be wondering, okay, so what can you do to accelerate that process? And I'm going to show you what I want you to do in order to relax your joints more, to discover so much range in your joints that is untapped. The way that I do it is I will isolate my bones and then very, 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 very slowly move the joint. So let me show you. If I am lying down and I'm in a neutral pelvis, like I've talked about, of aligning your pelvic plane, so your pubic bone and your two hip bones are in a plane, in this case parallel to the floor and ceiling. Then from there, I keep that perfectly still, and then I just move in the hip socket. Now see, I didn't move so much that my pelvis moved. No. I kept my pelvis perfectly in place. And then I very, very, very slowly do micro movements of my femur bone into the socket. And I would do this when I was in my dance career. I would do this as a way of warming up. Micro movements. And you're also engaging your pelvic floor and strengthening your center, which I haven't talked to you guys about yet, but I'll tell you more about, by keeping the pelvis stable. So you want to keep the pelvis stable and then move your femur bone in the socket, like micro movements. And when you get to the point where if you were to move your femur bone anymore, it would cause the pelvis to tilt. Like if you brought your femur bone up and you brought it up too high and then your pelvis tilts, you don't want to do that. Instead, once you get to the point where it's going to move your pelvis, just relax and try to find deep relaxation in the joint and see if you can micro move your knee a tiny bit closer. So those micro movements have a powerful impact, because when you are clean at the joint, when the articulation is nice and clean at the joint, meaning it's happening right from the fulcrum, not the joint moving around, then that has a ripple effect through the rest of your body, where the range of motion that you've found there will be reflected in your body elsewhere, and I'll explain that another time. So that's one way you can relax your joints, is to isolate the bone and then move at the joint, micro movements,